The focus of the middle of today's lesson is faithfulness and faithlessness. The author tells the Hebrews 3 times, "Harden not your hearts." In chapter 3, verse 8, in verse 15, and again in chapter 4, verse 7. He reminds them the difficult lessons their ancestors learned in the desert still apply. Scholar Luke Timothy Johnson says it was not the failure of the Israelites to believe in God that prevented their entry into the promised land, but their failure in loyalty and obedience. They turned away from the living God toward death. They hardened their hearts. The Hebrews are reminded that as Jesus' brothers, they must be perfected the same way he was, through trust, obedience, and loyalty of faith. In a word, faithfulness. Otherwise, they cannot remain God's children. In our lifetime, Blessed Mother Teresa embodied faithfulness. We assumed Mother Teresa loved so selflessly because she basked in God's love. But for almost 50 years, Mother Teresa never felt God's presence. She wrote, "The silence and emptiness is so great. I look and do not see, listen and do not hear." In the book Mother Teresa, Come Be My Light, Father Brian Kolodachuk wrote, "Not having the sense of believing, Mother Teresa struggled with the fear of deceiving others. Yet, when she wanted to disclose her apparent lack of faith, she was deprived of the power to do so. This, too, was God's work in her life. God would not permit her to say something that was not true. She did have faith, a biblical faith, a blind faith, a faith that had been tried and tested in the furnace of suffering and that traced a path to God through darkness. Undeterred by feelings, she continued living by the faith she felt she lost." Mother Teresa lived Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. Faith is the realization of what is hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Mother knew, as Luke Timothy Johnson writes in his commentary, that loyalty and perseverance are the critical components of faith.